Now, sometimes when you record using Audacity or other devices and you import it into Audacity or check it out in Audacity, sometimes your WAV file looks a little small. There's ways to correct this, and what we're going to do is show you how to correct this in particular. Now, I have two different tracks here, so I'm going to select using the cursor to select the entire piece, just so I select the top bar. And I'm just left clicking and dragging. Now, if you just had one audio track in here, all you would have to do is hit Command A or Control A and you would select everything. Now, if I do that, you can see that I select the bottom piece, which I don't want to do. I only want to select this voice, what's talking right now, because I want to only amplify that. Now, if we listen to this piece, we would find that it's very, very soft. So what we need to do is amplify it. So we're going to go up to Effect. And you can see that there's a lot of different filters here, a lot of different things that you can fiddle with. A lot of these you can play with and see if it makes anything sound better. I normally stick to certain ones. Amplify is one of them. Now with Amplify, I can turn the volume of this piece, of this little bit of tape up. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to select here where it says New Peak Amplitude. That means that the highest it's going to be is negative 1.2. You don't want to go anything over 0. In fact, it might not even let you. If I were to put in a 5 there, you can see that the OK button is grayed out. The only way that that would work is if I allow clipping. And clipping is when the sound is so loud that the computer really can't recreate it, and it actually just creates distortion. So we don't want to do that. What we want to be at is a minus. We want to be at a minus either 1 or 2. I'm going to put it at a -2. And as you can see, it's now blue, which means I'm allowed to do it. So I'm actually going to click OK. And now watch this bar up here. Watch what happens to it. So you can see it's popped back to its normal size. And when we play it, it sounds...
Let us not forget Henry David Thoreau,
nice and
whom
loud.
any discussion...
So you're going to want to do this with your piece if those levels are nice and small. So once this is done, and in our last video we actually completed this piece, now we want to get it out of here. Now, SoundSlides only takes MP3s. And in order to export an MP3, you're going to have to follow some directions on the Audacity site in order to do it. It's very simple. Really, all you have to do is put a plug-in into your Audacity folder or download this other encoder. It's a very simple process, but it has to be done. And if you can't do it, you're going to need to convert to an MP3 in a different program. I've done it on this computer, so I'm actually going to export as an MP3. SoundSlides will not read a wave, so if you wanted to export it as a wave, it would be a bigger file, a better file. However, SoundSlides wouldn't be able to read it. So like I say, follow the directions on the Audacity site, and they're going to tell you how to install. It's called a LAME, a LAME encoder, and it will be able to convert your wave file into an MP3. So right now, all I'm going to do is hit Export as MP3, and it's going to tell me right now that all my tracks, these 3 tracks here, are going to be mixed down into 2 stereo tracks. Is that okay? And I hit yes. Now it's going to ask me where I'd like to put it, and I'm going to put it directly on the desktop, and I'm just going to call it Done. Now I'm going to hit Save. It's going to ask me some information here, what the title is, what the artist is, what the album is. I normally don't fill in any of these things because it really doesn't matter if you're just going to be importing it into SoundSlides. Now, if this is a recording that you're going to put maybe out on the web and you want to put in here that it's talk or a podcast and put the title out there, that's fine too. I normally don't do any of that stuff. I don't edit these tags. I hit OK, and it's going to export it. Now, as you can see, it's taking a couple seconds, and it's going to have this as one audio file when we're done. So now let's say I wasn't finished with this, that I wanted to do something else with it instead. I can always save it instead of exporting it. I can go up here to Save Project As, and it's going to tell me that it's going to save it as a .aup, which means you can't open it with anything else except for Audacity. Then you hit OK, and then you would save it. Now it'll create its own asset folder, and then you'll be able to edit this file at a later date. Remember not to pull anything out of the asset file. If you fiddle around with it, Audacity won't be able to find it, and the file will be completely corrupted. So my suggestion is if you're going to save it like this, don't mess with the file structure at all. I'm going to save it inside of this audio, and you'll see what happens. I'll open up this file now. It's saved. We're going to go in here to Assets, to Audio, and you see here's my Audacity file, but it's referring to this data file. If this data file gets moved, if any of the files inside of this data file get fiddled with, Audacity is not going to know what to do with this particular thing and won't be able to open it up. So make sure you know where you save these two files in relation to one another. Then you can edit it at a later date. So I've saved it so I can edit it later. Right now I'm going to close this window out, and I'm actually going to open up this piece that we exported earlier as an MP3. I'm going to export it. I'm going to actually import it into Audacity. And as you can see, there's music in the beginning, a guy talking, and music at the end. Let's hear what it sounds like.
And let us not forget Henry David Thoreau, whom any discussion.
This is ready to be imported directly into SoundSlides as your underlying audio track. Remember that you can't import more than one audio track into SoundSlides, so editing and putting your score in Audacity is pretty much the only way to go.